Thank you so much, Chloe. We've got a great session planned for you today. We're going to have a little bit of fun talking about the voice AI tipping point and why voice AI agents are ready to take the mic, ready to go live, and ready to transform your business today. I've got a few fun things planned. We're going to play some videos. I'm actually going to call an AI agent live. So hopefully that'll all go well and smooth, and you'll learn a lot along the way. So without further ado, let's get started. So just by way of quick introduction to myself and to Cresta, I'm Devon Mychal. I lead the product marketing function here at Cresta. Cresta is a unified AI platform for human and AI agents. So I know, very topical for what we're getting ready to dive into today. But what does that really mean, right? There's so much jargon in some of these platform positioning names. So I want to just break that down for you really quickly. We provide a unified solution across all of your contact center AI touch points, from conversation intelligence and analysis of the voice of the customer through to automation of QM and coaching, to real-time augmentation of human agents, and of course, our topic for today, AI agents and fully automated conversations. It's been a wild few years and a lot has changed in the technology landscape. So I'm going to double click on that and sort of talk you through why this time is really different. It's not another hype cycle when it comes to voice AI agents and the ability to automate a much, much broader set of conversations really effectively with great outcomes for both your customers and your business. But before that, I want to just do a little bit of table setting. So conversational AI and automation of customer service, you've been promised a lot. And if you've been in this space for a while, like I have, you've been promised a lot of times, right? We've heard all about how there's just going to be this incredible business impact where we're automating more and more conversations. Humans might go away entirely, right? And that's going to drive down cost. It's going to make your business much more scalable, as you don't have to ramp up and hire thousands of seasonal agents. It's going to give you the agility to test out different strategies much more cost effectively. It's going to give you revenue upside, right? If you're generating leads and trying to handle leads or outbounding, it's going to give you the ability to do that at a much lower cost with less butts and seats that have to actually make those dials and make those calls. And then when we do think about humans, there's been this promise of AI is going to take all of those sort of repetitive, low value tasks, and you're going to have less humans doing higher value tasks. On the customer side, there's really clear potential, right? We've talked about the ability to offer 24/7 service availability around the clock, be able to answer your customers' questions whenever they need, right? Faster resolutions because you're not waiting for human cues and getting those wait times. More personalized interactions because AI, can just very quickly take into account the entire history of that customer, the details from the CRM, and personalize the interaction based on who they're talking to and how they've interacted with you in the past, much faster than a human can. And driving more consistency and accuracy, right? Because AI doesn't experience emotions, it doesn't get tired, it doesn't get frustrated. So these are all the things that you've been promised in past generations when we've talked about conversational AI and automated CX. And now I want to just have a little bit of fun with you. So we've actually spent a lot of time in developing our products, looking at social media complaints around automated CX to really understand why that promise never became a reality, and some of the things that really drive people crazy when they talk to earlier generations of chatbots and voice bots and virtual agents, all of the names that we've heard and over this evolution of this technology over time. So I chose this one clip that I think kind of just sums it up, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but hopefully this will sort of elicit an emotional response in you, as I think we've all been here and had this type of conversation before.
Hello, thank you for calling this automated system that sounds like a real person but will be significantly more frustrating for you. Yeah, I just have a question about my account. I'm sorry, what was that? Question about my account. Oh, it sounds like you have a question about your account. Is that right? Yes. Ooh, that's too bad, because now I'm going to take you through prompts that have nothing to do with your question. Are you kidding? No, I don't want to do that. To hear more about our promotions, press 1 now. No, representative.
Right. And so I cut it there. We don't have to belabor the point here, but I think we've all been there, right? We've called in, we've gotten to some sort of conversational IVR or flow-based virtual agent system. It has a lot of trouble recognizing what we're actually trying to do, hearing our clarifying statements as it tries to guide us through this hard scripted flow. It's making offers that we don't want. And, if you're like me, or if, especially like my mom, you're going to be pressing one over and over again, almost immediately, to get out of this experience and just try to talk to a human. So that's what you actually got until very, very recently. But all of that is changing now. And there's a few reasons why. So let's talk about what fundamentally caused these issues before I explain what's changed that's allowed us to solve them so much more effectively today. The first is that the last generation of automation was fundamentally flow-based, right? There was some pretty sophisticated ML to understand customer intent, and really recognize what they're trying to do, but all of the logic and pathing was flow-based. And so that led to sort of these loops and dead ends and limitations in what the technology could do. And it drove this consumer perception that it's not very effective at actually solving their problem. It's going to waste their time. They're going to spend some time trying to deal with it. And then they're going to have to repeat themselves to a human agent. That's going to waste their time again. And then maybe they'll get a resolution. So customers don't like these solutions. Historically, there's just been this really poor taste in customers' mouths in terms of existing implementations. And they're actually not that effective. So this is research from a research analyst partner of ours, Metrigy, and they found that only 20% of conversations were actually successfully being resolved by AI. So it's a slim subset that it's actually good at containing and good at resolving, and customers aren't really enjoying the experience. So that's kind of a lose-lose in terms of that lofty set of promises that you were given that we walked through in that first slide a few slides back. Now, obviously, everything has changed with large language models and generative AI, right? You don't need flow-based systems anymore, but it's also introduced new risks, right? The wrong approach to Gen AI and jumping in headfirst without really understanding what the technology is good at and where its limitations are has led to some like pretty significant and public faux pas and bad press. And so these are just a few examples here. I won't double click on all of these or call out companies or anything like that. But we've sort of seen this track record of mistakes that were made from not engineering these types of solutions correctly and building the rigor that they need around them to take advantage of their strengths while protecting against some of the weaknesses like hallucination and jailbreaking and data leaks and those types of things. So we have this prior state, right? What has changed now to our point and the point of this entire presentation? Why is now the time that voice AI agents are finally ready to take the mic, ready for prime time, ready to start automating a lot more than 20% of your conversations and doing it in a way that customers actually love? Well, there's been some significant advancements in the underlying technology. And the first one is really focused around sort of the sandwich models that go around a voice AI agent, right? And so those are transcription and text to speech, right? And so you might be thinking, if you're really deep in this technology, what about voice-to-voice models? Like there's these single modality models that are available now. And if you think back to that last slide and some of the issues that I talked about in terms of the risks of Gen AI, those issues still persist when we're talking about a single model voice-to-voice approach. So we believe fundamentally that you do still need to use a multi-model architecture. And there's been some incredible advances in transcription models that are much, much more accurate and a lot faster, and text-to-speech models that now can really sort of evoke emotion and be expressive and sound fundamentally human. So what you have now is the ability for these voice AI agents to perform in a way that's extremely low latency. So you're not waiting for their responses, and communicate in a way that feels human. It feels natural. You can actually converse with them. If you express worry, they can express empathy. So some really, really step change type advancements in these models have unlocked this truly human-like experience that we're able to deliver today. So those are sort of the sandwich models around this multi-model architecture that's required to get these right. But what about the core LLMs in the middle that are actually solving the problem, understanding the customer's intent and the nuanced context that matters so much in solving these problems, making complex decisions that are required to automate more advanced use cases, beyond simple question and answer and things like that, and also minimize the risk of hallucinations and jailbreaking? Well, there have been significant advancements here as well in terms of the ability of these models, as well as the speed and latency of these models, and to my last point, the cost of these models. it was just simply cost prohibitive to put some of these really advanced models into action at scale for the voice channel until very recently. But now what we're seeing is some serious breakthroughs about every 3 to 6 months. And with every generation, the last generation is getting cheaper. The next generation is getting faster and smarter. So we're on this exponential technology curve that has really unlocked a fundamentally better experience for voice AI agents. Okay, that was a lot of technical jargon, you might be thinking. I don't know all that much about models, so tell me what that means for your business. Well, what it means is you can automate conversations in a way that customers really like and feel human. And so we have a bunch of customers live with voice AI agents, and I listen to these conversations because I'm a nerd and I really want to understand what makes people tick, what makes people like or dislike these experiences, right? And there's been some pretty incredible ones that come to mind. One that's really top of mind for me was an elderly couple. So this is not some tech native millennial or Gen X person that is used to dealing with these types of channels, right? But it's an elderly couple. They're trying to troubleshoot an issue with a device in their home. They're both trying to talk to this AI agent. One of them's actually on the phone, one of them's in the background, and the AI agent just patiently guides them through 40, 50 steps back and forth, explaining concepts, guiding them through the steps of the process to actually do the troubleshooting. And it disclosed that it was an AI agent, right? Like that's the right thing to do. But by the end, I think they thought they were talking to a human and it had completely forgotten. They loved the experience. They thanked her at the end of this call. So these types of experiences are achievable now, and they're really quite incredible to hear. Number two is that ability to automate more. Think back to that 20% number. It's not because businesses only wanted to automate 20% of conversations, but it's because the technology was only good enough to automate around that amount in the past. So now we can start to automate much more advanced use cases, and I'll walk you through a few of those in a moment as well. And lastly, reduce admin overhead and a lower total cost of ownership. When you're not having to build and manage complex call flows and variable branches and writing scripts at every level, it starts to become a lot easier to manage this technology. That doesn't mean that there isn't significant oversight and new skills required to deploy and manage these things, but it's a different skill set and it's less labor intensive overall. So some really, really exciting changes for your business have been unlocked by the changes in technology that we've seen. So I've been talking about it a lot and sort of trying to explain to you this difference. I do want to just make a quick call for you to an AI agent and sort of give you a sense of what it sounds like. So I'm going to do that now. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm on speakerphone here in my office.
Thank you for calling Ocean Finance. I'm Liam, a virtual advisor with Personal Finance Group. Please note this call is being recorded. Who am I speaking with today?
Oh, hi. My name is Devon Mychal, and it seems I lost my credit card a few days ago.
Nice to meet you, Devon. I'm sorry to hear you lost your credit card. To proceed further, I need to authenticate you. I've just sent a 4-digit code to your cell phone. Can you please read it or use your keypad for input?
Yeah, it's 4321.
Thank you, Devon. I found your account. Just to confirm, is it for your Ocean Blue Visa ending 2250?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, Devon, I canceled your Ocean Blue Visa ending 2250. Before we move forward with the new card, let's review your transactions for the last 2 days. The first one.
Actually, hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. My dog's barking in the other room. Can you just give me a second here?
Take your time.
Okay, I was able to quiet him down. Can you pick up where you left off?
Sure. The first transaction is $234 from Costco posted on March 2nd, 2025. Was that you?
Yep, that was my groceries.
Great. The second one is $500 from foreigncurrencyexchange.com on March 3rd, 2025. Do you recognize that one?
No, I don't actually. I'm pretty worried about that one. I think it might be fake.
No worries, Devon. I've created a dispute for the $500 foreign currency exchange transaction and removed it from your statement. Now, let's order you a new credit card.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to hang up now. Bye. So I didn't go through the whole call flow here, but just wanted to sort of give you a sense of how different this type of AI agent feels than your traditional chat and voice bot, right? A couple things I want to call out specifically. The ability to express emotion and sort of meet me where I am in terms of what I'm saying and expressing through my voice, right? And so I said I was worried about this fraudulent charge, and it's responded with specific language. This is unscripted, by the way, right? So this is an AI agent that's making a decision. It's recognizing me saying something about how I'm worried, and it's telling me, don't worry, we're going to handle this thing. It's reassuring me, right? Two, life happens around you while you're making these calls. And so the ability to handle an interruption, like, my fake dog barking in the other room, and then just pick up right where it left off, with no real struggle or sort of repetition of steps or anything like that, is really quite wonderful from a customer experience point of view. And then three, we didn't go fully down this path, but it's the ability for this thing to actually take action on my behalf, right? So it's authenticating me, it's listening to my inputs, and it's actually making decisions to cancel a credit card, to review and then approve a fraudulent reporting of a fraudulent charge, right? If I continued, I could have changed my address on file. So of course, this is just a demonstration, but this is an example of the types of things and the much more advanced use cases that are now possible, as well as the experience around them that's much, much better for the end customer. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about these use cases, right? With more capable AI agents, you can start to automate much more complex and higher value use cases than you could before. And so on the left here, we have sort of some customer service concepts around this, account management. So allowing AI agents to not just provide you with information or do simple API calls, but actually make a decision to change something in another system on your behalf, right? That requires advanced reasoning. It requires guardrails. It requires a degree of trust and reason for that trust in the technology that just really wasn't available before unless you hard-coded those inputs, which again makes these things much harder to manage from a scalable point of view. Number two is complex troubleshooting, right? And so from my brief example of that elderly couple, right, troubleshooting is convoluted. It's not linear oftentimes. There's a lot of inputs and variables involved. And depending on who you're talking to, you might have to pause in a process and explain a basic concept to them. We've heard calls where somebody said, oh, like the AI agent asked them to check an LED light. What is an LED light? The AI agent has to explain that. That's not a step in the troubleshooting flow in a knowledge base that can be hard-coded into this thing. So having these much more dynamic AI agents that are sort of pre-trained on a much, much wider set of information and then grounded on specific knowledge and processes, and able to make decisions and operate in a nonlinear way opens up this world of complex troubleshooting, which for many organizations is a significant portion of their volume, right? And then again, with better decision-making protected by guardrails, we can start to offer proactive assistance. We can give these AI agents access to the customer's account data and see, oh, they actually are approaching a renewal offer on their cell phone, right? Where they can start to get a deal on the upgraded iPhone, for example, something like that, right? And that's not why they called, but we can see in the system that it's coming up. Let's make that offer to them. Let's help them through that process as well in the same call, so we don't deal with two calls later, and we actually offer them value in this one. On the right-hand side here is actually a whole new world where I don't think many people were thinking about applying the past generation of this technology, but now is really opened up, and the possibilities are endless, right? There's lead generation and qualification, which we're doing with some of our customers where, they had sales teams and fronters to take the first part of calls and then pass them on to more qualified, highly trained agents once they're qualified. But even with both of those sets of humans, they didn't have enough people and the cost didn't work out to actually dial all of their leads and put more advanced dialing systems in place to actually pursue all of that economic opportunity that they could have. Now they can, right? Because an AI agent is infinitely scalable. Sales and upsell, again, you need to implicitly trust that this system is going to provide a good enough experience and be able to handle things like objections, walk through discovery and make the right decision about what to offer, be able to pull from recommendation engines and put that offer personalized in place to be able to trust an AI agent with something like sales and upsell. And of course, customer retention. probably the highest tension moment in any customer journey, the amount of trust and the amount of capability behind these tools to be able to feel good about doing that with an AI agent is really, really advanced. But all of these things are possible. They're in play. We have customers doing them with us now because of the advancements in this technology. Now, I've just painted this wonderful picture of the future and all of the things you can do and automate so much more, so many different more use cases than you could in the past. But it's not this thing that you should jump into head first, right? I want to talk a little bit about best practices and how to think about sequencing. And there's really good reason behind this. So this is a simplified view of some of the ways that we guide our customers who maybe don't have a baked in point of view on exactly what they want to do first or where the highest value opportunity is going to be for them. We coach them to think about it in this way, right? You don't need to start with extremely complex, extremely sort of high leverage use cases like sales and retention, right? You don't even have to start with containing full calls. You can start by putting this technology in place and shaving 1 to 2 minutes off every single call with better routing and doing the authentication flow, right? You can start to just provide commercial information. You can use it to collect feedback. There can be bi-directional collaboration where an AI agent takes the front and the end of a call, but a human agent takes the middle. These are great places to start as you want to build confidence in the technology, build out the basic integrations that are required to make it work. Then you can build on that foundation, right? You can move into account management and into FAQs and basic troubleshooting. That requires additional integration with knowledge sources. It requires work on the back end of the knowledge side to make sure it's clean and usable by the AI, right? So there's more resources and time being put in to enable these things, but there's more value that you're getting out of them, and it's all additive. The logic continues all the way through. We're putting more integrations in place, more advanced business logic, more data. We're getting into higher leverage use cases, but it's additive over time. And so this allows your business to dip a toe in, start getting value really fast, and then build over time, automating more and more and more successfully with these tools. And that can be really, really transformational for the business, but also significantly reduce the risk involved. So this is our point of view at a very high level. And so let me get into my last slide here, and then I'll take this question at the end. I think we will definitely have a few minutes for questions. The last point I want to make here is this idea that automation is coming to steal everyone's jobs. Agents are going to go away. You won't need supervisors because it's just going to be AI agents and automations, et cetera, et cetera. We believe that voice AI agents are ready, and the potential for automation has expanded dramatically. It's kind of been the point of everything I've been saying, right? But we also fundamentally believe and know through learned experience that human and AI tools unlock the full potential of AI agents. And so that sort of applies at every level of the contact center. From a leadership point of view, you need AI tools that help you understand what's currently happening in your human conversations today. You need to understand what you should automate first, and be able to pinpoint the things that drive success and failure in those conversations and put that logic into the design of your AI agents in order to make them much more successful and capable of driving these amazing outcomes that we've been talking about. From a supervisory point of view, you actually need supervisors more than ever, right? You need to test and evaluate and benchmark the performance of your AI agents and feel good that this is the right decision and that you're automating the right things and that it's effective in all of these instances, and actually look at a blended team and say, here it makes more sense to use humans because humans are driving a better outcome, or customers fundamentally just want to talk to a human in these scenarios. Here it makes sense to use AI because AI is highly capable and there isn't that baked in expectation to talk to a human. I'm oversimplifying the logic here, but you get the point, right? We need to be able to evaluate the relative performance across different use cases, different types of conversations, and make good decisions that factor in cost, outcomes for the business, and all of those things in sort of creating this mix of what we automate and why. And then agents are still absolutely fundamental, right? Human agents are not going to go away. There might be some fewer of them, but they will be doing higher value tasks. We're really unlocking that value prop that we were promised many times in the past. It's real today. you still need these human agents and your top performers to be having conversations and providing training data to these AI agents. You need them to be able to take contextual handoff and collaborate with AI agents in certain circumstances in order to continue to offer a great customer experience, to maximize your sales conversion, to maximize retention and churn saves and all of those things, right? AI can help and can automate some of those conversations, but you do not want to get rid of humans. You want to empower humans to collaborate with AI really effectively. So these are some of the ways that humans are going to make AI agents more effective. This is something we think about a lot. We really, really pride ourselves on building a human-centric approach to AI. So if you're more interested in double-clicking on these concepts, come have a conversation with us, and we'd love to walk you through our point of view. And so what I'll leave you with here, I want to sort of double click and really emphasize the transformational impact that this technology can have. So I'm not going to play an endorsement of Cresta or anything like that. I'm not here to pitch my product, but I do want you to hear from the CEO of one of our customers on why he invested in this type of technology and how he thinks about the transformational impact for his business. So I'll just play this video really quick, and then we can jump into any questions.
What does this mean for us as an organization? It means that as a CEO, I'm going to improve my bottom line, which my board likes to hear. What it means is we have more capital to reinvest in the business to improve customer service. We have more capital to go out and acquire accounts. CEOs love to grow the top line. Great way to do that is improve the bottom line, recycle that capital back into sales. So part of our strategy here is to improve our margins through rolling out AI agents like Veronica and using that capital to actually grow the business while improving customer experience. It's a really exciting time, and candidly, for CEOs, CROs, CMOs, whoever's watching this video, if you're not thinking about using these tools, you should. They have massive implications for the future of your business in ways that you probably haven't imagined.
Yeah, and there you have it. I mean, he's not just thinking about cutting costs, right? He's thinking about fundamentally changing the math behind his entire business by doing this, but always with the end customer experience in mind and as the guiding North Star. So I think this is an incredible testament to where we're going in the future. And I'll stop there. I know we only have a minute or two left. I think we have one question in the chat here, Chloe. Should I go ahead and take it down?
Yes, let's go ahead and take it. Thank you so much for your presentation, Devon. So Caroline asked, do solutions like Cresta have APIs with ticketing tools? And if yes, how would that work?
Yes, we do. So we can integrate with basically any business system outside of Cresta through API or through direct integration that we've built or can build around those tools for you if we don't have them out of the box already. And we can integrate that data basically in whatever way is needed to drive these conversations. So if ticketing tools are providing prior context that should inform the way that the AI agent handles that next interaction, that's one way that we could potentially use that data. I think there are numerous ways that we could, but it's fully integrated from an API perspective, and actually having those integrations and that data in place is what unlocks this further degree of automation that's now possible.
Thank you so much, Devon. And thank you, Caroline, for the question. Any other questions that people may have, please do go ahead and connect with Devon on LinkedIn. Again, you can find his LinkedIn profile via his Zoom profile. And yeah, we can follow up with you after the event. Devon, thanks again for joining us and spending your time with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. Bye-bye.